Free-to-play, probably at the top of the most controversial terms in mobile gaming. Some say they are free-to-play, then one of those juicy $1
top-up offers
show up, and then that's where that wallet, credit card time, and then swiping addiction starts. Some say they are free-to-play because they haven't spent in months, but this is after already spending hundreds, thousands. Well, no, that's not how it works. I can't go buy a dozen of delicious Krispy Kreme donuts every week, then all of a sudden say it's time for a diet change, lose some weight, and then tell others I've never touched a donut. Free-to-play is banning your credit card and playing the game bone dry, no money at all. It's very hard to do in my opinion, but many players do this, and that's why I wanted to make a free-to-play account. I usually only do this with games I'm really enjoying because obviously managing 2 accounts takes more time than 1 account, but this type of content will be a good source of information to more of my audience. It's also fun, well, not always fun, depends on your luck, but it's interesting to see how the grind is. Enough chatting, free-to-play series week 1, time to cover what went down and mention any mistakes I made so you can avoid them. Let's get it. First thing I want to say is this video for visual content is going to be a mix between screenshots and video footage. What I decided to do is on the last day of each week, I'll record everything I've achieved in that week, such as campaign chapter I'm on, skyscraper, any hero upgrades, diamonds I have, etc. So it leads nicely into the following week's video. If you want a written guide, Kobe from the Idle Survivors Discord made a couple threads part of a free-to-play series you can see here. There's a part 1, 2, 3. I think it's a good read that mentions valuable points starting out, and if any other questions, I'm sure you could reply in one of those threads, and Kobe will try to help. First thing I want to say is I messed up. I still had my main account mindset in regards to gene potions, so each day if we open up the shop right here, and we go down here to this discount, each day I bought this 50% discount for gene potions. That's a lot of diamonds I used and wasted. 7 days, so 7 times 625 is 4,375 extra diamonds I could have had on what I went into week 2 with. Instead of 27,000 as you see up here, I could have had just over 30,000. Starting off, you can definitely get by with whatever gene potions you get from the city events, campaign stage rewards, skyscraper floors, and of course the discount store. So if we go over here, what I mean by this is using your banknotes seen at the top right here. This is going to be the in-game's cash, most games call it gold, but this is what you're going to be using to buy your gene potions. I should have just been relying on this shop to get my gene potions because in the beginning you're just really trying to save all those diamonds for week 2. Another reason why I didn't have to go over to the daily shop and buy the gene potions for diamonds is I wasn't ascending many of my heroes to high stars, therefore the gene potion requirement was low. I was on a fresh account building my roster up from the ground. Your main goal week 1 as a free-to-play, or really anyone, but for the sake of this series I'm focusing on free-to-play, in my opinion is to push to whatever you can, gathering up as many rewards as you can, whether PvE or PvP, and save all of your diamonds so you can go into week 2, the Interstellar with Justice Angel, as much as you can. The only things I personally use diamonds on, fast rewards, so buying the extra 2 a day equaling 150 diamonds, and 1 more guild boss hit, which is going to be an extra 50. Fast rewards speak for itself. I wanted more AFK rewards like Commander XP so I can unlock more chapters due to the minimum requirement restriction this game has. If you were unaware, you are gate locked by your commander level, so that's basically your account level, once you reach a certain point. I wanted to beat those chapters and get the summon tickets from the chapter chest, plus unlock the much needed game modes Expedition and Polar March, which I'll get into later. I have seen some players ask, well, what about summons? Do I save those because I saw there is a 2-time summon event in this game? My answer is no. Week 1, you need to summon to build a roster. If you don't summon, you won't push far to having low ascended heroes, meaning less rewards. It's counterproductive. Summon at least to 500 if you can for that guaranteed pity random SSS hero chest. Then you can worry about saving what you want. I think at 500 you will have the food to build up a decent starter roster. I was at 4,270 points towards the 5,000 chest, so that means at the end of day 7 I did 427 summons. In those 427 summons, here are the heroes I was able to pull. So for the SS heroes, I got Blade Killer right here, which is going to be your assassin type hero. Then I got Sacred Gun, which is going to be one of your best in slot SS heroes for heals and revival. and then I got Outlaw Arrow. For Triple S heroes, I actually pulled one before the 5,000 point chest or 500 summons pity. I got Reformed Tyrant. I definitely was feeling lucky. Pulling a Triple S hero before 500 summons is better than average going off my main account, which averages 1 to 2 Triple S heroes for every 1500 summons. The rates are very low. The Double S heroes were okay, besides Sacred Gun, which was a really nice pull. One of the reasons was I was already going to get my 3 copies of Outlaw Arrow for 9 stars from the server ceremony event, and I wasn't planning to take him to 10 stars. I don't advise anyone to do that. Early on, even though it may only be one Triple S hero copy, depending on which one you get, their base stats plus skill kit alone will allow you to get some use out of them, but they will lose their value as you really need 2 total copies to be able to take them to 8 stars. So for the first hero I got, being Reformed Tyrant, super early, I didn't use him very much. I do think Tyrant is tanky, but he needs high stars, so I mostly just used him when I needed to pull a specific enemy hero in the backline. I probably said this before, but a lot of the Triple S heroes, especially damage dealers or tanks, really need those copies, really need those high star levels, at least 8 stars or better, to be of actual use. Quite a number of them don't even shine till at least 10 stars, so pulling a Triple S hero this early was like bittersweet. Really lucky with the rates, but one copy wasn't going to do me much use. For the Double S heroes, Blade Killer I actually used for a bit because of her built-in cheat death, so when taking fatal damage, she's immune to death for a few seconds. Even though she is an assassin, so jumping and taking enemy focus, and my heals were pretty low just starting out, that cheat death allowed me to actually use her. Sacred Gun was obviously the biggest pull from here, an early revival hero. The heals were barely noticeable as the majority of my healing came from Gang Beauty, but the shining star for her kit was that she could revive each one of my heroes once. This was big, I was super happy on this pull. Before any of these hero pulls I just mentioned, the beginner lineup I ran with was Guardian and Party Queen, who was honestly really solid as a tank. I mentioned this in my lineups video, carries well being tanky even at 5 stars in the front, and then I had Imperial Captain, easy DPS to star up early, Gang Beauty, which is going to be your healer for quite some time, and then the epic hero White Angel for a double heals and double tank comp. All my damage came from Imperial Captain. Chapter 710 seems to be a stage many get stuck on due to the boss. The reason being is he has a lot of high AoE DPS output, with his missiles, and that is why I ran a double healer. You can probably do 2 healers, 1 tank, or 2 DPS, or if you want to do what I did, it was 2 healers, 2 tanks, and 1 DPS. I used the lineup I mentioned, as you can see exactly what my heroes did. For my hero levels, a 5-star hero can only go up to level 100. You can go further once your resonance center is built up by slotting them in the slots below your core 5, but because this was super early, all of them were level 100. Other bosses that caused me an issue was the boss that can temporarily control one of my heroes. Super annoying right here. It did take some RNG due to my Imperial Captain if he got mind controlled or not, because if he did, his basics would just smoke my heroes out. This was the heroes I used for this stage, which was chapter 1510. I was investing into Imperial due to his DPS output, and also Gang Beauty. As you can see here, her heals are pretty decent, being an S hero. For the rest of the week, I pretty much used this setup. If you didn't have the luck of a triple S hero, you can be more DPS focused once your Gang Beauty gets built up, and she is healing enough for your team to survive. It really all depends what you're struggling with. If it's DPS, get another DPS. Survivability, get another tank or support. My Reformed Tyrant barely got much use. I maybe used him a few times when I needed to get rid of a Sacred Gun in Skyscraper Tower or for PvP. My biggest struggle honestly was banknotes. You will be drained of this starting out, as everything you want to do takes banknotes, and a lot of it. In all idle games, I find it's a roller coaster of resources needed. Using this game obviously as the example, maybe you need gene potions, which turns into needing more banknotes, but then you stop getting hero food or you're waiting on hero duplicates, so hero leveling slows down, meaning one less thing you need to use them on, so banknotes then become less of an issue as you're only using them for buying gene potions or maybe gear merging. So yeah, that's why it's a roller coaster ride. It's going to go up and down depending on the stage you're in terms of what resources you're lacking. I was using banknotes on hero leveling, vehicle leveling, gene potion buying, which makes them decrease super fast due to it costing over 100,000, gear and watch merging. There's just a lot to do early, and that's why I suggest buying that extra guild boss hit for more, because you do get banknotes when you do the guild boss. Your main source of consistent diamonds for this week 1 will come from the expedition, which opens up after chapter 810. If you're not familiar with what I mean by this, that's chapter 8 stage 10. It doesn't matter what difficulty you clear, you get 500 diamonds from defeating the final boss and getting that final chest, and then this daily resets. Don't worry about doing the highest difficulty you can because it's misleading. It may say needs 200k power, but that's the bare minimum to open it. The enemies are quite strong, and I recommend having double the power suggested, unless you want a manual, hope for the right buffs to show up, etc. My main goal was to be efficient, so losing 1 day of expedition, which is 500 diamonds, is big. It's not worth the risk in my opinion. If you are lucky with rates on heroes and you're able to push far enough to reach chapter 3710, you're going to also open up Polar March. That's an extra 500 diamonds a day. Other sources will be from the scene events, where if you click on a specific NPC that shows up, you get 25 diamonds, or city events like the casino spin here for a chance at 50 to 300 diamonds, or Be Stronger. Always click I want diamonds. This is going to give you 100 diamonds starting out, and then it will change eventually to 250. I forgot at which point this is needed. It could be in reference to your chapter progression, or maybe it's based off your account level. I'm not really too sure, but it does eventually change to 250. So for recapping the end of week 1, I left off with 27,000 diamonds, chapter 3510, which was not restricted by my commander level, but simply I just couldn't push further. I was failing the stage and needed to wait to get stronger, so there was room for more rewards. If I made it past 3710 like I mentioned, I could have opened up Polar March, which would have been an additional 500 daily diamonds. That would have been big. I was nearly at my mecha vehicle. The biggest hurdle here, clear Alien Campaign Chapter 1 with 18 stars. Hero-wise, I had my Imperial Captain at 8 stars, slowly building up my Outlaw Arrow since I was running double DPS. Got my Gang Beauty to 7 stars, mostly for survival. She was getting picked off at 6 stars, and then I swapped between Guardian, Reformed Tyrant, and Field Medic, depending on the situation, and then of course I used Sacred Gun. Skyscraper was going okay. Faction Towers are pretty hard early due to the low amount of resonance slots available. Don't buy any more with diamonds, it's extremely pricey. Just wait it out and you'll get more from your AFK rewards. Expedition wasn't anything special. I think I was just doing stage 2 to guarantee me the completion. Just remember, if you do fail, you have unlimited retries, so you can do it again and again until you beat that final boss to get that final chest. In regards to the server ceremony, I missed out on 2 quests here for the Rookie Road. The first one was Pass Heroic Course Gang Beauty. The rewards were okay. I tried and tried. It just wasn't working for my heroes. And then the other quest was to own 1 level 160 hero. I'm pretty sure I could have done this one if I managed my banknotes better. The rewards were once again okay. 2 faction tickets. You never know. I could have got another triple S from these. You never know. And for the troop summon, I wasn't able to complete the quest to get 50 golden heroes. I was at 45, so I was super close. It's definitely doable. I am pretty excited about this series because I see a lot of people always saying pay to win garbage, this game is money hungry, blah blah blah. But as a free to play, which I have played many games as a free to play, it's all about patience and making the right decisions, and of course, having some good luck does help. Hopefully this gives a little insight into my thought process, and if you're just starting out, you can avoid some of the mistakes I made. Free to play series week 2 will be out very shortly. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.